that
And
makes
how
sense.
do you decide on what content to produce? Do you ask users, or basically do you look at competing apps, or do you just look after dramatic themes on TikTok, or like how do you decide on that?
Actually, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. You have to follow the trends, of course, in social
Yeah.
media, in web novels, in interactive stories apps. So if there is an emerging trend in a emerging trend trope or something, you should act fast because the timeline of producing a new series it's about 3 months. So
Ooh.
not like
Oh.
so yeah, it's not like when you all right, I'm going to do a vampire doctor story. You can't like do it in a week or so. It takes 3 months.
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Mate drops, knowledge made of gold and ice. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jack up designs, worlds chasing the sky. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Mate, Felix, Shaka, bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Mate, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jacob's crafted realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey stick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay.
Oh, hello. Hello there. I didn't see you. Thank you very much for coming to this episode. It's brought to you by our sponsors, PVX Partners, the simplest and most effective credit line for marketing. If you're scaling your business and need funding, here's the deal. With PVX Partners, you can grow your game easily in your business. There's no equity dilution. You can repay as you get paid, and it's flexible, fast, and fully tailored to your growth. So you can secure funding in 30 days and get a term sheet in just 24 hours. Don't you wait. Take control of your UA budget without giving away a piece of your company. Visit pvxpartners.com and see how they can help you grow your game faster and stronger. Don't wait. Go to pvxpartners.com. And while you have you here, we also want to thank our sponsors, Vibe.co, because this episode is brought to you by them as well. They can help you grow your brand on CTV ads. With Vibe, you can launch high-impact campaigns across top streaming platforms like Hulu, Roku, Tubi, and whatever else. I mean, all from one simple dashboard. We don't have all of these in Europe. Anyway, so it's built for brand all sizes. It's rated on 4.8 out of 5 on G2 for a reason. Join over 5,000 marketing teams already scaling with streaming TV. Visit vibe.co to get started. That's vibe.co. Join them. And thank you very much for joining us for this special episode. Now let's get back to it. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is another episode of 2.5 Gamers, but this one is very special. It's going to be very dramatic as well. My name is Matija Lančarić.
I'm Felix Broberg.
And
we are your hosts.
It's going to get better.
Great timing.
We need to do a cappella, I told you.
Yeah.
Not this.
Okay, well, sometimes in the future. We have 2 special guests, so no one, but 2. Guys, welcome to the podcast. Please introduce yourself and the company, and then we'll take it from there, because today we're talking about
Drama pop.
nice
Drama Pops, yes.
There you go. Perfect.
We got the rhythm of the acapella.
That's
Hello, everybody. I'm Burkay. I'm the product manager of Drama Pops, which is a short drama app that is under the roof of a beautiful company called Codeway. We're here to talk about the short drama industry.
It's great to see you, and can't wait to discuss about short drama concept and our beautiful app, Drama Pops. Let's see how it goes.
Welcome, guys. We are big fans of the short drama genre, I would say. Kind of.
We're also big fans of Codeway.
Yeah.
For those listeners who don't know what Codeway is, Google it. And yeah, they're one of Turkey's most successful app companies, kind of up there competing with
what you expect.
Yeah.
You know what Codeway is? Google it.
Yeah.
Google it. Let's
No, but
Google
yeah.
it for you.
Download the Drama Pop set, and that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for coming. Google everything.
Yeah.
Oh my
Maybe
god.
you can take it from there, I guess, Jakub.
I guess
okay.
enough googling for you. For
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
okay. So
Okay,
let's start.
To give a brief introduction of Codeway, we have in a more serious tone, though. We're a mobile app studio. We have more than 40 apps in both mobile markets and also web platforms. In total of our portfolio, we have more than 350 million users. We've been operating for 5 years now, and we're growing rapidly. We're on a roll at the moment. We're building more apps, building
Nice.
more audience, and Drama Pops is one of the more recent ventures of Codeway.
Yeah.
The
so,
graph looks very healthy.
Yeah, the graph looks very healthy. Just so listeners know, there's currently April saying something like 13 million plus in IP revenue, which I guess is not the whole revenue because there's no ad revenue here.
And web store revenue,
And web store
right, which we
revenue,
don't see.
of course, on top of it. And downloads also looks pretty healthy with something like 11 million downloads just for last month. So that's there. Overall, the studio is breaching 300 million downloads and 300 million IP revenue.
You just heard it's more than 350 million.
Yeah. Of course, we're just saying like Sensor Tower numbers here, so we know the scale. I think we like the for me, for instance, the moment I knew about Codeway was when you had the chatbot before OpenAI on the stores. That's why I think I heard about it. That was pretty smart move.
I mean, obviously.
Pretty smart.
Okay, so we're talking about Drama Pops today. Let's look the numbers first. So this was released or soft launch basically last August, and now it's scaling to something like TK IP a day. But again, this I would expect to be heavily ad revenue added on top of it, and also web store revenue or like web revenue. So we can see really everything here.
So if you can talk about the additional like web store or other revenue, is it like more than 50% of the revenue we see on Sensor Tower, or more than 60%, 70%, or it's double actually? Blink twice at least if it's more.
Well, to give you guys a better view, we don't have an app. We don't have a platform yet. We of course do some web to app tries, etc. The ad revenue part of it is not like a major revenue stream, but of course there is an ad revenue on top of that, on top of the graph.
IP revenue. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if we actually look at the app itself, but this looks quite familiar. If listeners or viewers remember our Real Short episode, so it's using the usual kind of Netflix-like layout that pretty much all of the short drama apps are using. And yeah, the good thing about the short drama market is that now we finally have it as a separate tag in the Sensor Tower category. So just by looking at it now, we don't need to swim through all the Netflixes and Hulus and all the other streaming platforms. So there's actually this specific category, which is an evolution of the interactive story category, as we talked during the Real Short episode. So download-wise, there's whatever Drama Box is, for instance, doing something like 18 million downloads a month. Real Short is doing 16 million downloads a month. Cuckoo TV, I don't even know what that is. That's like, again, 18 million. Just so you get the scale, like what are the top kind of genre leaders here. Real Short, of course, being the revenue leader with 35 million a month.
Yeah, when we discussed it, it was 26. It was last year.
Let me double check how's they
It was 26.
So yeah, this is going really rapidly up, and yeah, you can see it that it's pretty much a straight line up, even if I do monthly. So they're hitting record revenue pretty much every single month. Exactly. And the downloads curve still looks very healthy, and it's also hitting record downloads numbers. Like this is the format we've been telling that Netflix was supposed to do but never did. Rather than spending money on whatever random AAA gaming studios and stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Burka, how did you ended up doing actually drama pops? While were you looking at the real short and the whole category, and then just
Yeah.
the
Well, all mobile app studios were aware of the short drama trend. Of course, as Codeway, as a major player in the mobile app industry, we were also aware of that trend for a while. But it's not, of course, an easy decision to jump into that market because it's not something we used to do as like tech companies. It seems more like a thing for like content companies to do. But as a tech company, we had to learn about production, we had to learn more about content producing, and we had to learn about filming industry. This was, of course, a discussion amongst ourselves, and but at the end, we were confident in ourselves, and we decided to take the leap and start doing. We started from scratch, to be honest. We didn't know anything about production. We didn't know anything about content production. We learned on the way, and now we're producing more and more hit series. It was not an easy decision, but we are glad that we took it.
Okay.
And when you launch, just out of curiosity, like how many of these series do you actually need to launch the app so you actually have some content? Is this 10? Is it 20? Is it 5?
I think we had about 11 series at the beginning. There is not a definite answer to that. Of course, you can some apps launched with like 3 contents in the app. Some apps just license a catalog of like not very good content and put them on the app just to fill the library and launch the app with that. But of course, that never results with growth because those content are not good and they are heavily like used with all the other apps as well. But to launch the app, you have to have a library. We started with about 10 to 15, I think about 15 content. But as I said, that depends on that depends on your decision.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about like more product side because, by the way, I'm still kind of disappointed that I haven't found the vampire thing here, even though in the beginning it was asking me my preferences like
There is the
werewolves and
werewolf
vampires.
series.
So I found the werewolf one because
Yeah.
there's the usual alpha story. It's like I've seen it everywhere pretty much, but haven't seen the vampire one because I always like to see how much production budget you put into these like fantasy themed movies because that's like a big difference between the usual like billionaire CEO whatever drama story where you need like sword and shit. That's great. But yeah, anyway, so let me just finish the feature set. So we have the usual, as I said, Netflix layout with all the stories with a recommendation engine in the front, and then basically a list with tagging. Then we have the Discover tab, which is again same as the one in Real Show, which pretty much works a little bit like TikTok, where you just skim through trailers of all of those stories and pretty much end up watching from this tab directly the one you want. Then we have the rewards tab, which is the monetization part. I guess we'll talk about. Profile is pretty much just profile, not really much to it. But the rewards tab is working a little bit different. So there's and your system also works a little bit different because it's based on this kind of ticketing machine rather than a currency. Because if I understand correctly, you don't have yet interactive content, then you can like choose the way like how I do in Real Shot, for instance, so like pay for a different scenario during the story. You don't have that yet. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So I guess that's planned for later, something like that. But yeah, this is, as I said, a little bit different because that would need its own separate currency. We don't need that, so now we just have the tickets. So there's daily reward tickets. There's tickets for ads. There's the VIP program, which I guess makes the bulk of the revenue, and then manual refilling of the tickets. Did I said it right? That the weekly VIP is the main bulk of the revenue.
It's both the consumable products and the subscriptions are both like major revenue streams, I can say.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, so pretty standard feature set. Regarding the stories themselves, like if you go into it, those are as usual like these 60 to 90 minutes.
Seconds, 60 to 90 seconds, not minutes.
What do you mean? 60 to 90 episodes per one story.
Yeah,
Each
because
one
you
of
said-
those is 60
You
seconds.
because you said 60 to 90 minutes. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah,
No,
they
it's
are
not a
60 to
feature.
90 minutes. The whole movie, basically.
The whole, yes, but it's
Yes.
like it's cut into,
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So, for instance, here I have a story that I need to continue only if I, again, pay or like use my tickets.
Yeah,
There's
unfortunately,
always,
guys, you won't get any revenue out of Jakub. So, it's,
as always.
as always.
So if we go here, we have the episode list. As you see, it's pretty much there. So it works on the premise that first few episodes are always unlocked. You get the user hooked on, and then it goes into the format that you need to actually pay tickets. There's very comfortable option of tickets being used without you even knowing. So it pretty much drains down on them very fast. So that's done pretty well. And then how do I get out of this one? Yeah, let me get back. So then you pretty much choose what you like, and then you go. There's, as I said, recommendation engine. I haven't seen the upcoming tab that I've seen in the real short, if I understood. So I guess this still is a little bit like after the feature set up, because
that's
I know that I'm sorry, but I literally get spammed with real short PR people to talk about their new stories or whatever. Like they somehow found my email and want me to can do some reveals about them. So how do you approach this kind of content on the carrot treadmill?
Yeah, we do have an upcoming section actually, but we make it visible or hidden time to time. Depends on the pipeline, the
Mhm.
content pipeline actually. If we don't have a lot of content we can show on the upcoming section, sometimes sometimes it works very well planned, but sometimes it's kind of like agile to release those contents. We may not have the time to plan ahead for the upcoming section, so we make it hidden sometimes.
Okay.
And about the spamming part of things, we don't do it as much as other China-based short drama companies, I think. But of course, the push notifications are an important part of this, because this is different than the other like utility apps, games, etc. We have new content coming in short intervals, so we have to let the audience know we have a new content that might interest them. But yeah,
And here comes the $1 million question for me. Like, how do you decide on what content to make, and where do you make the content?
And how much it costs?
Yeah, that's
That's the second question. The next one.
well, you have to have all kinds of content. That's the first thing, because all these streaming platforms, all the OTT platforms have as much as content that you are not able to finish. So I'm talking about platforms like Netflix or HBO or other big streaming platforms. And the China-based short-term platforms have the similar library, because they've been doing this. Well, this is an industry that has emerged in the last 2 years, but it was around in China since like 2019.
Yeah.
So they have a lot bigger catalogs because they've been in this for like 5 years, 6 years. So they have thousands of short dramas shot in Chinese, of course, but they have the catalog. So we have to, there are tons of subjects that can be shot, produced as a content. We just do everything one by one. We don't like decide, we just pick something out of the bag. That's not randomly, but we have a list that we want to do. We do them in order.
okay. Okay, and are you getting?
That's basically
Yeah.
basically what I was like saying in the beginning, like you need to cater to all these audiences. So if I come in and I don't see my vampire CEO, then I leave because I'm going after vampire CEOs. And that's exactly what Burkai said. Like you need to have
My
content for
vampire
everybody. But this is
CEO.
like how it works.
Yeah, of course. I know. Yeah.
But is it made in the US or is it made in Turkey, or where do you make these shows?
We have production teams in Turkey, Istanbul, and we have production teams in different countries of Europe, very close to your country, some of them.
I can
We
imagine.
have,
I would guess Czech Republic.
And Poland.
yeah, very accurate guesses. We have production teams in the US as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I would still say majority is produced here in Europe, because in the US it's gonna be like 10 times
Yeah, that's
more
what
expensive.
we heard, if I understand, for the real short content, LA stuff, which is like 300K per one of these 60 to 90-minute series.
It depends. I think 300 is kind of a bit more on the upper edge of the
Upper spectrum.
the range, but it can go up to that, of course. And Real Short, since Real Short is producing like 30, 40, 50 series a month, they do some of them with higher budgets, some of them with lower budgets.
I'm sorry, a lot of genius baby saves the day. Fucking hell. I mean,
They have everything. Like again.
Can you go back to Drama Pops?
Yeah, sure.
So one of the biggest differences I noticed kind of with Real Short and Drama Pops is around ads, which is kind of what I focus on, right? Do you just want to talk through maybe how you thought about the ads when you built the app and how you kind of wanted to interact with the overall user experience?
Of course. I can give you guys a brief introduction about our approach on ads, and then let Sefa explain how we use ads on the app in more detail. So it's a very new industry. It's been 2 years since short drama apps emerged. Before that, it was in China, of course, but in China, the app market is not the same with the Western markets, because they don't rely on in-app purchases that much. They have that micro program thing that it's
WeChat. WeChat stuff.
They were in micro programs in WeChat, so it's a new genre, it's a new industry, so everyone is trying different things. We're also trying different things as well. We're using ads as a chance for our users to see more of the shows before they have to make a payment, or like use the ads to collect more tickets and watch a full series in a couple of days or weeks, etc. But Sefa can tell you more in detail about our use of ads in the app.
Actually, from day one, we have treated ads like a completely voluntary option, because we never put an interstitial in front of a cliffhanger, because that would kill the experience, actually. Instead, we offer value exchange moments that user initiate. For example, we have two different rewards logic, as you can see in the app. One of them is extra daily reward tickets. When user claims its daily ticket, we offer extra tickets if user watch an ad. Also, we have 7 extra ad slots per day, and it's resets every day. User also watch 7 ads per day and claim tickets. We are experimenting alternative logics methods in different regions, but the rule is ad must never break immersion. This is the rule for us. Of course, we are testing. I can explain our rewards logic like that.
Please do.
Yeah, please do. Super interesting.
Basically, these, as you can see, these two rewards logic we are using, but we did some testings in different regions, but we know ads has more potential than we are using. We are actively actually exploring it, but the goal is not cannibalizing in-app purchases. This is the key point for us. because there is a balance between ad monetization and in-app purchase revenue. We know our plan is expand rewarded ads to mid-tail geos, test post-free content interstitial, not now, but we are planning in some point. And also non-payers who have run out of tickets, we offer different ad logics for these users to continue to watching it. I can explain like that.
Yeah, and also we have that, as Sefa mentioned, that we have that 7-day streak thing. It's kind of like a gamification of the rewards, and it's kind of like a loyalty program that you check in every day and you get more and more tickets, and you can get even more tickets by watching an ad after you check in. But it helps us have our users with more retention, and I can say that our retention rates are pretty high comparing to all the other app categories we've been dealing with in Codeway.
Interesting. Basically, on Real Short, there's 13 rewarded ad impression opportunities per day. Is that also kind of where you guys are at in terms of how many rewarded ads a user can watch every day? Or is it uncapped?
13. Which one is 13?
The Real Short has exactly 13 rewarded ad placements that you can watch every day. So there's 8 in the store, and then the rest you can watch, or the other 4 you can watch during consuming content to unlock more, but it's capped. So it's 13 a day. That's the max limit.
Yeah. We have 7 on the rewards page, and we also have the ad option after you check in. So one more is there actually. That makes it 8. And we're testing ads in when you hit the paywall in the series. If you don't make a purchase, we are testing an option to make some amount of episodes available with ads as well.
To upsell an ad, basically, if you hit 0 tickets, yeah.
Yeah, you have insufficient tickets to unlock the episode, and you close the paywall, so you see an option to unlock the episode with an ad. But this is in testing phase for us.
Okay.
Very
cool.
This screen, basically.
Yeah, when you decide to not purchase a ticket here, you see an option to.
Yeah. If I understand, 3 tickets. There we go. Thank you. Even better. If I understand, the Real Short has a ad upsell there, as Felix said, that if you run out of stuff, they upsell for some time, and then they go into cap.
So I estimate basically the ad revenue for Drama Pops to be anywhere between 12 to 18% right now. Is that about right, or is that a bit too low?
It's actually a bit too high as an estimation, but it might be the case for some of the apps that use the ad monetization more aggressively. We don't use ad monetizations that aggressive, to be honest. But some of the apps have been using interstitials, banners, and more rewarded ads. So that might be the case for some of the apps. Yeah.
By the way, do I get it right? Because all of the content that I see here has slapped original on top of it, so you're not renting anything, and everything is pretty much made by yourself.
We have been producing our own content, original content, for a while now. At the beginning, we had some content licensed.
Mm-hmm.
Are in the deeper sections of the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's call it old
Here,
content.
here, for instance,
Let's call it old.
But
Okay.
as
Dumb Billionaire Heiress Part 2. I love it.
we're not confident in those content, and we're very confident in our own content. We promote our own content.
And by the way, does it make sense for you to, like, later, after the content had some life cycle behind it, to rent it out to other apps?
Yeah, that's a very common practice for, I think, most of the apps. We haven't done it yet, but we're considering that. Yeah.
So, like, as an additional stream of revenue, basically.
Yeah, and most of the apps do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
makes
how
sense.
do you decide on what content to produce? Do you ask users, or basically do you look at competing apps, or do you just look after dramatic themes on TikTok, or like how do you decide on that?
Actually, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. You
Mm.
have to follow the trends, of course, in social
Yeah.
media, in web novels, in interactive stories apps. So if there is an emerging trend in a emerging trend trope or something, you should act fast because the like timeline of producing a new series is it's about 3 months. So
Ooh.
not like
Oh,
so yeah, it's not like when you all right, I'm going to do a vampire doctor story. You can't like do it in a week or so. It's
So not gonna be married to a pope any soon.
yes. So yeah, so we follow the trends. We try to have like feedback loops in our data intelligence platforms. We see where the drop offs are. We see where the most retentions are, and we follow the metrics of our marketing campaigns to see what performs well, what performs not well, so that they all contribute to the decision making stage. Yeah.
Also, I'm like super curious about this because we already seen it here in this like other content that you rented that you said. Do you make sequential content like one if it works great then you like recycle it or do like recycle the actors, the stage and everything and make a second part of that series, or does it work this way? Or because I never saw these things ever here, they usually come in packages and that's it, and there's like, if it's so good, why don't we make like second, third, fourth, fifth movie, whatever?
Yeah, we haven't done it yet. These two are the ones we have licensed. We haven't done sequels, but
Mm.
it's also not a very common practice in the short drama market as well, by the way. Some of our competitors are starting to do that, and we'll see how it goes. Because since, to be honest, this is of course subjective, but since this is a relatively new industry and the audience base has still a very long way to broaden, I think it makes more sense to focus on expansion rather than retention at the moment
Mm-hmm.
by having new and more content for newer audiences.
Okay, and last question regarding the content: how much
It's not the last
more
question. I have one.
yeah.
how much more impactful or how much important do you see the interactive content?
Well, it's an area to explore for us. We haven't tried interactive stories yet. Interactive stories apps were a huge thing a couple years ago, and they're still very big. And it can definitely like feed the know-how for producing more content for the drama series. But I'm sorry, you were talking about having interactive series, I think, not
Yeah, like same as Real Short, because Real Short, like some of their episodes, because Real Short and the company has roots within the chapters interactive
Chapters,
novels.
yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so some of their series, I literally went through those, and like you have choices, which adds an additional thing of currency. So literally, like, do you want to buy this, or like I'm gonna buy, or which dress do you want to buy? And there's literally choices like this amazing dress or like this shitty dress for free. And you literally change a different camera angle, whatever the story takes a little bit of a. I guess it's still linear, so it like goes like this. So you don't really change it, but you have the illusion of choice at least. And the most important thing for me is that it offers that
that's a
additional.
monetization point.
Yeah, it's a monetization point because it's like
Exactly.
same as interactive stories, pretty much the same part. So that's why I'm asking, like, how much do you think, for instance, this additional thing provides in overall revenue possibility, or like, for instance, how much soft currency instead of the tickets people are paying here in Real Short or stuff like that, if you know any numbers there?
Yeah, we're definitely excited to try that, and we want to try that at some point. It's of course it's a challenge, not in a technical part, but the productionally. Well, you have to. Well, there are two ways you can go. One is that you have the options, but they don't that much affect the.
Yeah, as I said, illusion of choice. You just
Yeah,
can
it's
make better
illusion of.
dress, but she'll still get dumped by the
But also
billionaire.
you can do it like with like how Netflix did it with Bandersnatch at some point. It was you had different endings with different storylines, so it depends on the. You can choose how you will go in the spectrum, but it's of course it's exciting to test the monetization part of it, because we have the subscription and we have the in-app consumables, and it's a way to increase the amount of consumable purchases. So it's a definitely interesting point.
Yeah, because like for me, for instance, from a game design standpoint, this content seems to be for me much more effective if it would be really robust and fleshed out, rather than just illusion of choice. It would actually have choices, because it means that it now has replayability. So that same content would be played by same person and pretty much watched it twice or 3 times, or how many times it kind of
Just
pays off.
Change the
kinda-
storyline.
Yeah, he
basically.
changes the storyline. So for instance, like I don't know, Witcher 2 at how
Or
or
even
midpoint of
Cyberpunk had like 8
man,
endings.
like Witcher 2, like there's the greatest example. Midpoint of Witcher 2, you literally choose between going with these guys or that guys, and you never change sides again. And like it's a completely different game from that point on. So it's like pays off to replay, definitely.
Detroit comes to mind.
Yeah.
As a game.
So there's lots of possibilities.
Also, for the content part, for the newcomer users sees like a short survey. We ask what type of dramas they want to see in the app. Also, this part led us to maybe which content there should be, the next content should be, or what our users want to see in the app. This part is also important for us because it's what users want to see.
Yeah, that's the preference onboarding, where you start the app and you need to literally pick your tag. So like I'm this, I'm that. There's my demo. I want to see vampires and werewolves where they are. There we go.
The vampire CEOs. I want to jump in on this because the rumor on the street is that this is also like hit driven, like any other thing. If you have a hit creative, it can change dramatically the whole UA landscape. And apparently this happens with like a hit content as well. Like which of the content you produced were like the biggest hits that showed you like, oh my god, this is actually working really well?
Yeah. The content is, since this is a content app, the content is actually, it determines the ad creatives as well.
That's what I want to ask as well, yeah.
And so your question was which series of ours was biggest?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, actually you can kind of guess from the like in order of
So the trending is the actual.
Yeah,
Prince is mine.
But for example, we have a series called Situationship with my billionaire friend. There, it's in the like 4th or 5th, I think, in the trending.
Yeah, that's the one I watched actually.
Yeah, it was, for example, a huge hit. It's kind of like the it's kind of one of the most hit short dramas of 2025 globally. So, but at some point they get saturated. Of course, it's not. They don't last forever. All of them has a life cycle, as you mentioned before with the distribution thing. So we need to keep producing hits in order to stay on top. But yeah, Situationship was a great series, and most of the series you see on there with the trending and the hero banner were big hits. Yeah.
And I guess it's just a matter of time when then like this hits enough scale that we get to have not no-name actors, but C-level actors, B-level actors, and maybe it's like higher. At least one series, to have a flagship there.
Yeah, but the short drama industry, this is kind of an interesting point. It's not product point of view at all. This won't maybe your audience will be bored of listening to this, but this is an industry in itself. I mean, there is a limited and very few amount of production done by Hollywood or the other production industries in other countries. It's very limited, very few, and very limited people can work in it.
So the capacity is limited for these things to be created.
Yeah. But short drama industry has created a new world for all the actors, all the crew members, all the directors, everyone to work on different stuff and to both be employed, of course, and both also to like to have a portfolio, create something, because those people are artists. Some of them, they want to create something, they want to express themselves through movies, and some short dramas, of course, don't. They are very limiting in it. They're very creatively repetitive of themselves. But we try to do different tropes, unique storylines, like more high quality, high production value stuff. So it also creates an opportunity for a lot of new people to create something for the world to see.
So it's basically like entry point to acting, Hollywood, wherever. You start here.
Maybe an entry point, but those people are also very talented. I mean, if you see the shows, some actors are extremely talented, some directors are extremely talented. So, and they also stand out, of course, as they do good stuff. And this industry will consolidate at some point, and those people will stand out even more. So, I don't see them actually as like D-list people. They're very talented, to be honest, and we always try to work with the most talented people. So we have high confidence they will
Jakob, if you think about it, like if there is a B or C or whatever, even let's say Brad Pitt coming into the short drama, it's gonna be just super expensive.
Yeah.
And do you think like that would help expand this kind of genre rapidly?
Yeah, that's my question, because Brad Pitt, the moment he comes and you pay just one drama with him, you use him in those creatives. Because those are...
But that's a different license also, no? It's not very black and white. I mean, I would say that's an extra.
Can I just ask a question here that I'm just begging to ask? I'm thinking about it. How much does UA impact your decisions on what content to make?
It affects a lot, yeah, because
it's everything basically.
Yeah,
as I've mentioned, the name of the game is kind of expansion at that point. So the UA metrics are, I think, the most determining factor.
The success of the app.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Want to take it from there, Matej?
Wait. Yeah. No, I just want to say, like, then do you actually shoot some, like, let's say, trial, like, of...
Do you shoot stuff based on your creatives that you want to achieve?
No, that's why. That's where I'm trying to get, but I'm trying to formulate the question, because then, if you actually shoot, let's say, 10 different videos, and then from those, let's say 2 of them are the best performing, and then from that you kind of shoot the whole series.
You mean, do you pre-screen the shows by these things?
This is also an open to discussion topic, actually. There are some companies, some platforms do that. They call it prototyping or like testing. They have a story idea.
Okay.
Originally, it should be like 90 minutes or something, but they shoot like 10 minutes of it with lower budget, with lower productional value, to try it out. This is, of course, a great way to test the series before investing all that money to produce everything. But this is, of course, subjective, and this is just my opinion, and it's not a fact at all. I believe it's not a very accurate way to test the show, because the show it's an art piece by itself. For example, I've mentioned Situationship, a series of ours. It's a very big hit, but I'm not sure if we have produced it with lower budget, with 10 minutes. I don't think we would have seen a successful result, and we would just throw the story out because
Okay.
But if we have confidence in the story, if we have confidence in the production, we just decided to do it all together. But of course, there are companies that try that, and I'm sure they see some great results and see some, like, they have that in their measuring mechanism as well. Yeah.
You know, Matej, what I want to ask. Freezing families when?
Yes.
Yeah.
Freezing families and AI when? Because Burkhard, there's I'm pretty sure you saw all the creatives from the casual games where you and coming from China as well, where you have basically freezing families to death, and then you combine that with gameplay, and that's just like a trend, which is
like one of the most popular creators where like a mother with a daughter gets rejected by husband or dumped
or
from work or
yeah,
whatever. The
fired
worst
from
case
work.
possible. Then she ends up in some random shack without windows, roof, anything. She's freezing there in. Yeah. So that's what I was making the joke. Like if you run this series, because it would make a great UA creative.
Yes, those ad creatives are definitely an inspiration source for some of the short dramas.
So you're getting inspired by like the best performing gaming trend as well, if I understand.
Yeah, it might. I mean, we might. I mean, we haven't. I think get
Okay.
inspired by any of them so
Well,
far.
you
but
should
why
definitely.
not? Yeah, we should.
You should. And then we have like the whole separate question about the AI, because from what we discussed with the different guys from this genre, it's like this is like right now it's really booming. But then the next level of all the short dramas is just all of this basically made by AI. Are you experimenting with AI? Like, how does that fit into your framework at the moment or in the future?
Well, we have experimented AI generated footages for UA stuff. Actually, we have experimented them for ad creatives. We haven't used them in series in the app in itself. But yes, it will definitely happen at some point. The AI will definitely be capable of producing dramas, producing films, etc. At the moment, the technology isn't there yet, but it will be.
It's very very close, I would say, if you look
Yeah.
into it. It's just like we don't have optimized stuff because currently everybody's chasing just wow effect and nobody's chasing efficiency. The moment we chase efficiency, we'll get there.
Which most probably is going to be very early next year.
Yeah, somewhere there. Mate, you want to take it over with the creatives?
You can just open that tab, because I wanted to ask you have obviously Uplavin in there, and the Uplavin is actually quite big on any types of apps, pregnant X and whatever else. But you have also a few of the playables right there. If you just exit this and then just open the first one, which this is the playable. Other kind of plans with playables, but the real ones, basically where you can kind of simulate the choices that we briefly touched on before.
Would you like to say something?
Actually, we tried Playable creatives through and loving. We keep them simple and story based. For example, in one creative, the character is about to slap someone, and user swipes and complete this action. We tried this similar concepts, story-driven playable like creatives, but we are still exploring it, and we didn't see a big hit creative yet. But a plugin has huge potential. We know it. We are using it. It's like both playable or not playable creatives, but we are still trying playable creatives too.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and if you get that, you run a lot of UA on Facebook and I assume TikTok and Google, obviously. And if you go up a little bit, Jakub, there's 8 minutes, 6 minutes long videos, and this is not quite new for this genre, and other people are using that as well. So can you talk about that a little bit more? Like, why is this actually working so well, the long form? Because it's not really that frequent in the gaming industry.
Yeah, because this is not actually because these are films. That's the short answer, to be honest.
Okay.
We have to have people invested in interest. So we can do that by showing them a clip of edited 1 minute stuff, or we can do that with like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like footage of the series. So both works for some series.
Mm-hmm.
The short edits work. So for some series, the longer footages work. So the thing is, you know how the monetization part of the short drama works. You show people a certain amount of free episodes, and then you hit them with the paywall. So it's kind of like that experience, but before downloading the app. So we can have like 10 minutes of the show in the creative and have people watch them, and then they get invested in it, and then they can just download the app and then make payments.
So you basically pre-qualifying the users with
Yeah, exactly. So it of course it results in higher CPI, but it results in higher conversion rates as well.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I wanted to get into. This like you basically show 8 minute long video, and people are like, oh my god, this is so long. But then they actually start watching those videos and say, oh, actually this is pretty good. I wanna know more. I wanna watch more. And then as soon as they get into the app, they're already pre-qualified as a high intent or like high quality users because they already watched like 7 minutes of the
It's the typical unfinished business effect because they want to finish that story that they started watching. That's the part of it that's driving it.
Exactly. You got them hooked at some point. Yeah, it's an unfinished business. They have to see what will happen next.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
great.
yeah,
Do I get that right? Sorry, that
Yeah.
playables are basically about you choosing a story because one of those load for me. I guess these other one won't, but it's basically you screaming through a catalog, and the moment the user finds the story he wants, he clicks it, and then you play it from the playable.
Yeah, we tried that as well. We tried one, as Sefa mentioned, like she's about to slap someone, and then you tap on slap or swipe her.
Yeah.
The interactive
Nice.
format. Yeah.
We try different things, but yeah,
And I love these seriously. Like it's amazing. So, but then the best performing channels are, I guess, the main ones: Facebook, TikTok, and then what Google. And are you expanding to anything, let's say, not conventional outside of UA? Like while working with any types of influencers, small ones on YouTube, TikTok, wherever.
well, not very unconventional, but I think we're using AppLovin more than some of our competitors.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I can mention that because yeah, AppLovin is a great network for us, but nothing very extraordinary other than that.
Okay.
Are you currently mediating on Max as well, or are you on another mediation?
Other
Okay, interesting.
Well, what if you actually go to Mags and then you can use actually the blended campaigns? That could be an interesting.
But the ad revenue is below 12%, right? So I don't know if it would help that much.
That's true. Yeah, fair enough. So I guess you are actually listening to me, Felix. That's good.
Wow,
12 minutes one.
Yeah, that's good. How about TikTok? I mean, this basically created for
TikTokable?
TV. Very TikToking.
Yeah. Well, you can mention the difference between Facebook and TikTok if you want to.
Yeah, please do.
depends on different things like seasonality, regional trends, creative freshness, or creative saturation. It depends on a few factors. We can say a winner, like network UA channel for drum pops, but it changes. We see like promising numbers in TikTok, like sometimes, but we use uploading more than the competitor. We saw a potential over there, but our reliable scale engine is Facebook, I think.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, but I can add that it really depends on the content. So you mentioned that the series are TikToky, but to be honest, the audience is much older than what you imagine to be. Everyone thinks like, all right, this is for Gen Z, but it's not actually. It's mostly for like, as you can see, it's for about 35 years female audience. So for some series, for example, the Situationship series, it was a unique storyline. It attracted people from all ages, and it worked wonders in TikTok, in Meta, in AppLovin. It worked everywhere. But some of the series, some of the more conventional short dramas, not conventional comparing to traditional TV, but conventional comparing to other China-based short dramas,
Mhm.
I can say. Since they already have a base audience for short drama, and when you create something that's appealing for that audience, you can use that momentum. But when you create a unique storyline, it works on TikTok, it works on Facebook. TikTok has that more viralability effect, and it can be it can go skyrocket instantly. And Facebook has that stability effect as well. So both are great networks for us.
I think here the creatives are too polished for TikTok. If I think about it, it's like more high quality. If you just take iPhone and then just shoot something from your iPhone as a drama kind of series, that would definitely work better on TikTok as a creative rather than just
Yeah, that's right. And our series has even more higher productional value, so it's even more polished comparing to other short dramas as well. But as I said, that depends on the series, to be honest, because some of the series we produce are aimed to be short drama, so it they do work as how other competitors' creatives work.
Any plans to expand the UA channels? For example, I saw Mintegral doing quite well on the app business as well. And if you're not mediating with Max, then I guess the other UA channel, which is there like a Unity or Iron Source.
Sorry, I couldn't get the last part.
If you are trying to expand or will be expanding the UA channel mix to Mintegral, for example, or to Unity or Iron Source at some point in the future.
Yeah, we haven't had too many tries for other networks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, it's definitely an option. We should discuss that with the marketing team as well. But
Yeah, of course, I know.
We tried like few channels, but we didn't see any promising like numbers. We stopped investing. So, but at some point we will definitely try.
Nice. Okay, good. That's all I had for the UA part, because this, I mean, the number of creatives you have, I mean, it matches the number of stories you have as well, and it's like an infinite. Yeah.
I bet this throwing cake creative works pretty well.
Yeah.
it does, yeah.
Of course, that's what everybody wants to see.
You have a good eye, my friend.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add that we think we missed in covering drama pops?
Well, nothing big, to be honest, but we're excited to see how this short drama industry, how it will resolve in the future, what will happen to there are at the moment more than 50 apps. That is definitely too much for that kind of a content. We're curious to see how it will what kind of a consolidation will happen in the future, how this will evolve to have broader audiences. We're of course trying out different things to expand our audience to different demographics, to different ages, different geographic expansions. We're trying different things, but we're very curious and we're very excited to see where this will go. And we are very confident that Drama Pops will be here for the long haul. As with anything we do at Codeway, you guys know already
Yep.
that
We seen the chart. Looks great.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're always confident in what we do, and we're confident for Drama Pops as well.
My prediction for this, like looking at it and like hearing to and learning some things from you, like thanks for that, like very enlightening, is that I think at some point, as you said, people will start to shift a little bit from expansion to consolidation and keeping the users there. So we're gonna see more experimental and sequel content probably. That's one thing. Like more interactivity, more spend, and more optimization. So we need choices or some more gamification. And the other thing, which is a big elephant in the room, which I think will happen, even though they're just doing one stupid decision after the other, is Netflix or some other kind of big streaming competitor that's going to look at this category and finally maybe do some stuff with their IPs, or maybe license them. I don't know.
I think they're still thinking this is too small for them.
Throwing 3 billion out of the window into complete minus is a great way to not think this is good for them.
No,
I mean,
but
look,
this is the content. The type of the content is, I think, too cheesy for Netflix yet.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm not saying like this would be on Netflix. What I'm saying is that Netflix buying like one of these apps or creating their own, like,
Yeah,
Netflix spin-off basically.
but they still have the opportunity to jump in, and I'm pretty sure the bigger OTT platforms will jump in the bandwagon. The type of the content is evolving. It's evolving into more serious series, since more like Western culture companies are also entering the market. Like, we've been doing this for 1 year, and some companies from US, some companies from Germany, France, Ukraine are doing this. So it will evolve into something that I think may interest bigger streaming platforms more in the near future. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see some developments for that as well.
And Safa, you wanted to say something before we went on this little tangent.
I wanted to add a few things. As a Codeway, we have like really good know-how about both product and marketing side. We name Codeway of doing things for that. We have huge advantage when compare to our competitors. Also, we are learning in production side really fast. So I can say that we have a really good advantage of being like Codeway app. When we compare to our competitors, I think we will see really good numbers, really good things in the near future.
We're confident.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, well, we're already seeing that, and if you can grow even more, yeah, hats off, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Also, guys, thank you very much for coming. This was really, really good episode. Also, listeners, thank you very much for listening as well. And please keep subscribing. Please join the Slack channel. We'll put the guys in the show notes if you want to reach out to them. And yeah, thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.